Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 26 through 29 of Legend of ZhenHuan. Hua Fei is tired of waiting to get pregnant and decides to hire a gynecologist from outside of the palace. He checks on her and tells her that she's healthy and just needs to stop stressing. He actually notices something else, but the Empress Dowager has made it clear that he needs to keep his mouth shut if he wants to keep doctoring in the future. With the baby on the way, ZhenHuan gets promoted to concubine. I feel like the emperor has just been waiting for an excuse to do that. Ling Rong comes to see ZhenHuan. A cold, combined with Hua Fei making her drink wine and sing that night, has seriously damaged her voice, and she won't be able to sing in the future. Ling Rong gives ZhenHuan ointment to help with the cat scratches on ZhenHuan's neck, and they seem to reconcile. The emperor tries to reconcile with Mei Zhang, but it seems that her heart was really broken when he had her in prison and she just isn't interested. ZhenHuan and the emperor, on the other hand, are getting along swimmingly. Dr. Wen improves on his plague formula, and ZhenHuan uses that as evidence and tells the emperor the truth, that Hua Fei's doctors are frauds. The emperor has the doctors killed, but again, no repercussions for Hua Fei. At least Dr. Wen finally starts to get the recognition he deserves. On ZhenHuan's birthday, they have a banquet. At the emperor's request, Guo Wang sets up some birthday surprises, including kites and a flute solo. Life is good, but ZhenHuan makes sure to stay vigilant as her pregnancy gets further and further along. After a few months, ZhenHuan is pregnant enough to be showing and is spending a fun day flying a kite with Chun Changzai. The kite line snaps, so Chun runs off to find the kite. She accidentally overhears Hua Fei accepting bribes and plotting against ZhenHuan's father. She's spotted by Chao Guiren, who tries to warn her but instead tips off Hua Fei. Hua Fei sends her henchmen after her, and he chases her down and drowns her. Meanwhile, Chao sees ZhenHuan, and after dismissing the staff and some way too casual small talk, Chao Guiren tells her to go and check on Chun. I guess Chao Guiren was trying to decide whether or not to betray Hua Fei, but are you seriously talking about the weather right now, knowing damn well someone is being murdered? In any case, it isn't until later that night that someone finds Chun's body floating in the water. ZhenHuan is obviously completely heartbroken. I've only mentioned Chun a few times, but she's actually very close to ZhenHuan and is overall just a sweet character. She's the only person that no one in the drama can seem to hate, mostly because she's so young and innocent. Later, Chun's maid finds ZhenHuan and tells her that Chun was a strong swimmer and couldn't possibly have drowned on her own. So hints are pointing to Hua Fei, but there's no actual proof. The emperor tells Hua Fei that he plans to promote her to noble consort. This, combined with getting away with Chun's murder, leaves her feeling unstoppable and she's cockier than ever. Meanwhile, more and more reports are coming in of Nian Gengyao doing crazy things like demolishing people's houses to expand his garden. One night, the empress is having serious head pain but can't get a doctor because Nian Gengyao has borrowed all of the palace doctors to take care of his sick wife. The emperor's resentment towards Nian Gengyao starts to open his eyes, and he seems to find Hua Fei's obvious lust for power less and less attractive. Hua Fei gets her promotion and is now Hua Guifei, making her officially the highest ranked woman in the harem, not including the empress of course. Meanwhile, the empress starts to put the idea in Shi Fei's head that with ZhenHuan being so loved, if she has a son, he will undoubtedly take third prince's position. Third prince is currently the crown prince, meaning he will take over once the emperor dies. It's not set in stone though, that position can be given to whichever prince the emperor likes best at any time. Shi Fei, who I've mentioned isn't very intelligent, gets the idea that she needs to make sure ZhenHuan has a miscarriage. Now, this isn't the first time someone has tried to force a miscarriage, but what's ridiculous is how stupidly she goes about it. She has some desserts made from poisonous plants, and then has them sent to ZhenHuan. She doesn't even try to hide where they come from. The servant announces that they're from her. Ling Rong is with her at the time and notices something is amiss, alerting ZhenHuan to the danger. They figure out that the snacks are poisonous and decide to tell the empress. The empress calls Shi Fei in and rails into her for trying to hurt ZhenHuan's baby. To be honest though, she seems to be more upset that she didn't go about it more intelligently. She isn't going to report it to the emperor, but as punishment, going forward, Shi Fei is not allowed to meet with her son. Third prince will be living with the empress from now on. And though this may not have been her plan from the beginning, it works perfectly for the previously childless empress. Shi Fei, struggling to put an idea together with her 2 brain cells, decides this is ZhenHuan's fault for telling the empress. Yeah, she should have just shut up and eaten the poison. The emperor is leaving for a temple trip with the empress, and he leaves Hua Fei in charge. Hua is like a child left alone for the first time, and the moment the emperor leaves, it's clear that this is not going to be fun. Over the next few days, she hosts her own morning meetings, forcing the other women to listen to her drone on for hours on end. It takes a toll on ZhenHuan, who is pretty weak to begin with, and now getting close to her delivery date. She's feeling particularly bad one day when Hua Fei summons her again. She arrives late, and Hua Fei has her kneel in apology. ZhenHuan tries to get her to understand that she needs to take care of the baby, but that only makes Hua Fei angrier, and she forces her to kneel outside in the sun. In my absolute favorite Meizhong moment, she kneels next to her, standing up to Hua Fei the only way she can. I just love the sistership between these two. Hua Fei has ZhenHuan reading out loud as penance, which is bad enough considering how hot it is, but then she brings out incense and even starts beating her when her reading gets too weak. Huan Bi runs to find Guo Wang. It's now been an hour and ZhenHuan looks ready to pass out, but Hua Fei insists that she's overacting and won't listen to anyone when they tell her to stop. At this point, even the consorts that don't like ZhenHuan are like, hey buddy, maybe cool it a bit. ZhenHuan finally does pass out, just in time for Guo Wang to bust in and save her. He picks her up, and as he carries her away, we see blood on the ground. The build-up to this scene could not have been any better. I mean, we've known from the start what Hua Fei is like, and with this unlimited power, something like this happening was pretty much inevitable. Still, the abuse ramping up and culminating in Guo Wang having to burst into the courtyard, A+ drama. They also do a great job of showing how much Guo Wang cares about ZhenHuan. They make it seem like Hua Fei is genuinely shocked that ZhenHuan miscarried here, so I guess that wasn't her intention, but does that make her actions forgivable? I think not. This is the same woman who had her servants kill a 16-year-old so she wouldn't get in trouble, and then gloated about it. She doesn't really care about the baby, she's worried that she'll get in trouble. Man, I will miss Chun though, she really added some lightness to this dreary affair. Taking it back a bit to the Empress, I'm a bit hesitant to give her credit for the whole Qifei thing, since I'm pretty sure she just meant for Qifei to cause ZhenHuan to miscarry, but still, it was a brilliant play to turn the failed attempt into a new son for herself. The Empress has pretty much been a background character until now. Most of her scenes are her getting information from a servant about the goings-on in the palace and responding, interesting. Guess she's just been biding her time though. She has shown that she can be really manipulative. Starting with Ling Rong and now Qifei, as well as some other minor characters, she clearly knows how to get people to do what she wants. But unlike Hua Fei, when she does bad things, she still looks like the good guy. Finally, give it up for literally the stupidest character in the drama. Congrats, girl. Till next time, thanks for watching.